Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chill Film Discussion. I don't know. I guess that's the de facto name now of this stream series, but it's episode 27, and today we have a special guest on our stream. Um, would you like to introduce yourself, or do you want me to introduce you?
I'll just say hi. My name is Lillian. I'm a friend of Patrick's.
Hello,
Yeah.
Lillian, friend of Patrick's. Welcome to the stream. Um, yeah, so kind of a special episode, I guess, because we haven't had a guest in like I don't know however many weeks it's been. But another exciting part of the stream is we're going to be discussing a movie called 500 Days of Summer, and I personally have a lot to say about this movie. So let's just like
Oh Lord.
let's just jump right into it. No, like a lot of like good things to say about it. I'm already just gonna say I really like this movie. So like, we'll see what you guys think, and if you guys
Mhm.
don't like it or don't like any parts, I'd love to hear it. But anyway, yeah, some quick facts about 500 Days of Summer. Anyway, this is gonna have. I'm just going for those of you who haven't seen it. This movie it's a 2009 American romantic comedy drama film. It is directed by Marc Webb, and it actually features some screenplay written by um, it says Scott Neustadter and Michael Weber. Fun fact about the movie: in the very beginning, it references like it says like all characters are fictional, and then it says something about like some woman's Jenny Beckman or something like that, and then calls
Yeah.
her the B word. I'm not going to say that. This is PG friendly. A profane word. Um, Apparently, that person is real, and the screenplay, it's one of the exes of, I think, Michael Weber, one of the screenplay screenwriters of this movie. And yeah, it's heavily influenced by like, basically it's like kind of is like his perspective, and like that woman, Jenny Beckman or whatever the woman's name is sort of like what summer was to him. So apparently it was a very, I read an article about it was like a very awkward conversation to have with his ex to be like incorporate to get her permission to incorporate her name into this film, but it worked out apparently, and that made it into the movie.
Did they like consult her on other parts of the movie?
I would imagine so. Like I think she saw the movie, and it's funny because she says she related more to Tom than to Summer,
Whoa.
which I think is absolutely bonkers and hilarious. So
Yeah.
it's the whole like Sid and Nancy backward flipping thing. So I don't know. I just thought it was really funny that I always thought that was like she was like fake or something, but apparently she was real, and like that's her real name too. So. Well, what do you know? Sometimes reality can make into a good story, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Real life is can be inspiration.
Inspirational, exactly. But yeah, this movie stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zoe Deschanel as the two main characters, Tom and Summer. And yeah, it's basically, um, well, it's about a boy and a girl, and
Wait,
it's not a love story, but it's a story about
you're
love.
just saying the narration.
I'm trying to introduce it. Anyway,
Read the script.
that's it for like non-spoilers. From here on now, there are spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, I would recommend you watch it before you watch this. Anyway, let's go on. Yeah, 500 Days of Summer. It is. I think it is a very very like wonderfully executed nonlinear story. Um, it is a romantic comedy, but I think it's not a love story, but it is a story about love. Um, and it's very much one-sided in terms of the perspective at which it's told. So there's two main characters, Tom and Summer. It's from the perspective of Tom, and I really like the way that it's told non-linearly, because it's almost as if it's like replicating the fact that like when we go back and think about things and try to recreate memories, it's very much non-linear. Like we only think of like the remarkable moments in time, and it's not necessarily like we know every day, in progression from like oldest to new, most recent. So like that sort of like uh, connection to reality is something, especially for telling this sort of like one-sided love story where like Tom is sort of trying to get over or trying to like fit Summer into his ideal perspective of what he wants and in terms of like an ideal partner. Um, I think is very well done in general. Um, I really like the acting in this movie. I really like the chemistry between the two characters. I really like the side characters, Tom's friends, his little sister, even his boss, because they provided sanity to like something that was clearly not mentally stable in his mind, since he was obsessing over this girl unhealthily, and it was very clear. Um, I really like the visuals of this movie, like the colors. Tom is portrayed as beige and brown. Summer is portrayed as blue. It's very stark contrast. The soundtrack, the music in this film, brilliantly placed to make you feel in certain scenes. And I also love how the fact that the narrator sort of just told what it told the destination. It said like, boy meets girl, but it's not a love story. So you as the audience sort of focus on this journey that's unfolding, and piece together like what went wrong, like where are the highs, where are the lows, what went wrong. And I just really love how like it flips the whole like romantic comedy trope on its head in general. It just like you may expect them to be happily married or living together, but like there's a lot of thematic significance to like how this concept of love in this film is sort of influenced by like the exact trope that it's flipping its head over. Like romantic comedies, like like love at first sight, or like like fate or destiny. Like it just that doesn't necessarily happen in real life. And it's a lot more complicated than what the movies or the media portrays it to be. And the fact that like there's a lot of complexities related to affection in general, that this movie sort of like, although it's exaggerated because it's a movie, it does delve into those themes very well. Yeah, I overall like I really like this movie. I really like like just learning more and more about this movie and trying to piece together like Summer's perspective or Summer's point of view from Tom's point of view as I watch it more, and understanding that like it's messy. It's not like anyone's fault. It could have been handled with better communication, but like life is life, and they both, I think, in the long term, benefited from learning from this experience, which I view optimistically as. So I would give this movie a 10 out of 10, straight up. There's no questions asked. No one's going to convince me otherwise. I absolutely love this movie. It is like for sure one of my top 5 movies of all time that I've seen. So anyway, that's my spiel. I would highly recommend it for anyone who's ever had any romantic feelings ever.
I mean, even for people who haven't.
Well, okay, sure, but like people who haven't, it's also it also can tell you what not to do. And whenever, in the future. So that's it for me. For my conclusion. Would you let's see, who wants to go next? Do you want to go next, Lillian? Go guest in first.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, my conclusion, also love this movie for many reasons. A lot of the same ones as Patrick. Soundtrack was great. Execution amazing. I think what I like about it the most is its kind of realistic portrayal of relationships, and especially like giving you a peek into the mind of like someone who is desperately in love, and kind of what's going through their head, and all like just doing a very good job of expressing or like showing you like what he's feeling, through different stages of the relationship, both falling in love and out of love, and everything in between. Um, So I think that's why it's like important to watch both, even if you've been in a relationship or are in love, and also for people who aren't. I think it helps you kind of like sympathize with both the Toms of the world and also the Summers of the world. And a little bit of relationship advice. I also like how watched it a decade ago when it came out. Like it still feels very relevant today. Like kind of the concept of relationships and love. It doesn't really change over time. Like people are going through these things all day, every day, throughout the centuries. So I think it's just a good movie to watch in general.
Yeah.
Learn about people, how they think, relationships, love, all that good stuff. But yeah, for me, final rating. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10.
All
And like,
right, all right.
I hate giving things perfect scores because even though like in my
It's
mind I don't know what a 10 out of 10 looks like, but
yeah.
I feel like that's like an ideal that I can't assign to something that exists.
10 out of 10 doesn't necessarily mean it's perfect. It's just like it's something that like you yourself can't make it any better.
Change.
Change
Sure.
anything that would you think would make it better.
Yeah, the autumn thing I kind of hate.
Okay, yeah, I
So
can
9.5.
9.5. All right,
Consider
I buy that. I accept that. I'm just kidding. Why would it? It doesn't matter if I accept it. No, but yeah, no, I buy that. I buy that.
Okay. For me, I did enjoy this movie. I liked it a lot. I liked the storytelling. I think both of you kind of covered a lot of the points, right? With its theme, the storytelling. I really liked how they set the expectations early. Otherwise, I think I might have like come out of this movie they a little bit bummed out, just like a lot more sad.
Mhm.
I think it gave us hope at the end, and it gave us a reason why these two should not be together, right? I enjoy the juxtaposition, right? The way that it kind of goes back and forth. The mechanic of doing it with the title card was a bit confusing when where it's like flipping. I just it was just to me. I was always trying to pinpoint what day it was. But I like how that I like the way that it goes back just to show us how they're changing and in real time, right? It doesn't show it linearly for us to kind of have this downer of an ending, right? We kind of see how these two characters change and their interactions, right? Having a Tom's perspective um, definitely help kind of paint this movie in a way that this guy's a bit more obsessive. I think my biggest gripe again was maybe Tom's character, just in terms of how he is. I think he's a bit absurd, and I would kind of wanted to have that toned down. But throughout the movie, there's some things that were ridiculous. Some cutaways. I don't know if I wanted to have it in there. But I understand it kind of was baked in there to fully portray the emotion, right? The dance number, the French cinema scene,
Mhm.
but other scenes where worked really well. I think the break between reality and expectation, right? That was another kind of cutaway scene. That's kind of like comes out of a storybook telling format, but I think it really worked in terms of showing us how Tom was expecting things to go, and then we see this breakdown, but it doesn't have to be like on the screen. We can just show how this contrast creates this conflict within him. um I don't know if there's anything that I would really change, because this movie I think was pretty well done. But there again, there's just a few things that made me not perfectly fully enjoy for the movie. So but I think for me, I'd probably give it a 9.
9. All right, so we're going lower and lower. I mean, maybe I should have ended it so we could go
Yeah,
higher.
we should have let Austin go first.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's okay. We can edit it out later. But yeah, would you recommend Austin?
I definitely would recommend the movie. I think this is a good movie to watch. I think it would get used to, I think, just this this changing format. And I think depending on who the person, I'm thinking of a few people who might want like a happy ending. But I think if you watched it, they might be able to understand that this is a good ending for the both of these characters, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend as a good story that's being told.
Cool. Well, there are folks. There's 3 perspectives, different number of times that we've seen it. Austin's seen it for the first time. Lillian, you've seen it. Is this your second time?
think so, yeah.
Okay, and then for me, it's my nth time, where n is definitely greater than 2. I don't remember. Plus, I kind of embarrassed to say on stream how many times I've seen it. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything that we at least wanted to say, or at least I wanted to say. The movie definitely stood the test of time, except for that Wii Sports moment when they're playing tennis. You definitely tell it's like way older than way older than it. 10 years old. But other than that, yeah, I think this movie definitely we all highly recommend. And yeah, thanks for joining us for this stream. It was I really enjoyed it. I think I had a really nice discussion. I think we all kind of like had similar thoughts about the film.
Yeah.
Which it would have been more interesting if like one of you really disliked it. Then I would have had a field day just trying to justify it. But no, it's all good. It's like testament to how good this film is. If
Right.
all of us can sort of appreciate it and enjoy it and would recommend it. So yeah, thanks again, Lillian, for joining us as our guest today.
Thanks
Really
for having
appreciate
me.
it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we will see you guys next week, Sunday at 11. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching this if you watch it. And if you watch it, I hope you have a great day.
Right.
Cool. Awesome. Peace. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.